Was it seduction or illusion? Deception or murder? Nothing is what it seems in a town like Twin Peaks. Starring Kyle MacLachlan, Michael Onkeen, Lara Flynn Boyle, Sherilyn Fenn, and Joan Chen. And now you can fall back into the mystery. Begin your search for the first time every Tuesday night with a new episode hosted by a panel of superfans. Watch live for the audio commentary. No one is innocent in a town like Twin Peaks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land, and welcome to Live from Sparkwood and 21. This series chronicles the cult favorite from 1990, Twin Peaks, created by David Lynch and Mark Frost. Joining me on this odyssey are superfans Troy Pacelli, Netters Network, and Aged Boomer. Slide into a booth at the Double R Diner and order a heavenly slice of cherry pie and a damn fine cup of coffee as we watch and discuss the Season 2 episode, The Condemned Woman. I'd like to say hello to everyone in the chat. The first to be here is the host of Films with Friends, the creator of the 10-word review, Big Al Presents. He says, have a great stream, my friends, watching Sting. All right, so Alien Spiders. I will await his review. FKHC 2005. Something, last call, Dark Side. My Stalkerazzi, Lady the Elements. Friend of the channel, Curtis Selby. Another friend of the channel, Dee Myers Jr. Faithful Blue Wrench, the bird woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. She of the smoldering Avatar, Netters Network. I'd like to thank everyone joining us here on Twitter. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. And also everyone following us on Troy's channel, Netter's channel, Al's channel, and also Rumble. Good friend of the channel, JPRPH1. Geek Flag with the Nate Nose, 1973. Spicy Peach. Lady V Elements. Of course, Aged Boomer. Inspiration TV. Cephalopod alert. There must be one cephalopod in every chat. Hello, Thade. Orville Nation is joining us. Evelyn Hampton in the house. And remember that the Cosme link is pinned to the top of the chat. All right. I will now bring out my co-hosts on this journey. Last call, Troy Pacelli.
Hello, hello.
Aged Boomer.
Hi.
And last, but certainly not least, Notice Network.
Good evening, everyone.
If we're talking about volume, she's least. She's tiny.
What, you're saying you can't hear me? I feel like that phone commercial. Can you hear me now?
I meant physical volume, not auditory volume. But I guess that could have worked too, yeah.
I like my Wyndham Earl picture. He looks kind of like a ghost, doesn't he?
He sure behaves like one.
I don't know where that picture came from. I'm sure it was distributed out somewhere. I'm just...
Yeah.
Yes. She's fun size, says Spicy Peach. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I can attest to that. She absolutely is fun size.
Yes, I am.
And Evelyn Hampton, welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
All right.
Okay.
Now, this is an episode that I have really been waiting for because I mentioned this all the way back on the David Lynch stream that really brought this show on, where Troy basically forced me at gunpoint.
I kind of did.
No. To begin this program. And I'm really glad that he did in the end. But back when we did that initial episode, I referenced this episode, The Condemned Woman, and mentioned that it did remind me of another film that takes place in a hotel. Let's just put it that way. And when we get to the ending, I'll go a little bit more into that because I don't want to give too much away.
We'll have a little bit of analysis tonight for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But as far as foreshadowing goes, I just shared with you my my Twitter or X share. If you want to share it with everybody, I thought it was clever. Maybe other people might find it humorous.
Yes.
Yeah, I said it's this was a half hour ago or so that I put this out there. In about a half hour, episode 23 of Twin Peaks. Watch and deep dive. What? Too soon? Spoiler. Aubrey Plaza's very funny Got Wood parody.
Aubrey Plaza is proof that people in Hollywood, that producers don't understand men. She should have been in a lot more movies.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
she would always play like the weird girl in the movie, not the lead. And it's like, no, the men like her. It's like, it's...
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there, for sure.
Good old Aubrey Plaza, though. Yes.
Yeah.
I argued that in Zombieland 2 when they meet their doubles, but they didn't have a double for Emma Stone because I guess the Emma Stone of that group left. I said it should have been Aubrey Plaza. That she should have been in the other group.
Oh man, yeah, that
because it was Luke Wilson, and instead of Jesse Eisenberg, because what was it? Jesse Eisenberg is on with the Woody Harrelson. It was the guy who was on Silicon Valley was in the other group, and they had a girl too, but she had left. And I said the other girl should have been Aubrey Plaza. That would have been the alternate for Emma Stone.
That's funny. But yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know how deep into this I really want to go right now. I think I really want to wait until we get to the end. Because there's there's quite a bit that happens in this episode.
There
And
I
yeah.
have a question for you, Jaleesians. You just want to get down to it, don't you? Never Mulholland Drive, the cowboy. You just want to get to it.
Yes.
Here's the guy wants to get to it.
Oh, all the references.
Oh, that was my favorite scene in that movie. Is the cowboy.
Yeah, the cowboy's good.
Oh man,
Log lady. For tonight, for the purpose of my humorous share, let's say yes.
Okay. Oh right, that makes sense. Now I'm getting it. Okay.
Yeah.
Only
they do the
only if- Go ahead.
Let's go ahead. I was gonna. They do the prequel series, like you were saying. Aubrey Plaza could play the young log lady.
Yeah,
I suppose. Yeah,
I can see that actually. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any kind of Twin Peaks reboot unless they sell it to Blumhouse. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh no! Oh no! Don't do a George Lucas, please.
They kept it simple. No.
See, I don't think that it's even possible. I'm sure that unless David Lynch is actually involved, I don't think anyone can do anything Twin Peaks related.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Although there are a couple of fan films that I do expect we will be talking about in the coming weeks.
There's some very interesting news in the fan film front, certainly, and say that 5 times fast. Fan film front, which I'm interested, but at the same time, I'm trying to be careful.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
I was surprised because I was talking to him and we were talking about the one that he's already done, and I'm like, oh well, maybe we could do a watch party of that, after we finish season 2. He goes, well, it covers a lot of stuff from season 3, so you should really wait until after that. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna have to wait.
Well, I know I've been bringing up this famous theory of mine for a while now, and the more that I'm hearing from a certain someone who I'm not going to name his channel because I don't want to give too much of even that away, he's mentioned some things that really put a couple of big pieces together for me. That made me believe that my initial theory is correct.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm not even sure with David Lynch you can say, any theory is correct.
No, not really.
I think you could only say yours is the most agreed upon, maybe, or something like that, or the most obvious, or something like that.
Because when we get to season 3, and we are getting ever closer to season 3, folks.
Yeah, we've got, I think we've got about, after this, like 5 more episodes.
Something like that, yes. Yeah. I think 5, 6, yeah. To go in season 2. And, yeah, okay, I don't want to say too much.
Right.
So, we'll get going. All right, well, let's just get on with the episode. I just want to say to everybody, thank you all once again for being here. Buckle up. Because this one is going to get crazy.
All right.
Yeah, the ending of this is really going to get the wheels turning. I know it certainly did with me.
Yep.
So, all right. Everybody please join us over on Cosme. I just want to say very quickly to Lady V, later. Moving on. All right. The episode is set up and ready to go. And we are going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Flappy's favorite meal to order at the Double R Diner was actually the sliced turkey special.
Oh, that seems so wrong.
What do you mean? Different species. He would say what when people would look at him?
That just seems wrong. I mean, that's kind of like the jokes we were making about Woodstock and eating turkey in the Thanksgiving special.
That's right. He did do that. I'm sure the Double R Diner had a turkey.
Well, no, I mean, it's like, I guess it's not as bad as that Fran Drescher movie that we saw. You gave the chicken. It's like Silence of the Chickens up in here.
It was just one of her episodes. It wasn't a movie.
Oh, whatever it was.
Yeah, she went by her mother's house, and her mother was feeding the chicken. She goes, "What? I should cook a different meal for the chickens?"
That's funny.
But I guess you're right when it's a different species. I mean, it's no different than that scene in Indiana Jones. Chill the monkey brains.
Oh boy, that's not. It's interesting. There was an X-Files episode where there was some weird stuff going on in this town, and when they went to the chicken plant, they found out that the leftover chicken parts were recycled into chicken feed. And they said, "You're feeding chickens," and the guy said it's protein. It was an inference of something else that was going on in the town, namely cannibalism. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Lady V said in the Cosme chat, the mountains look like female anatomy. It's funny you say that because Sherilyn Fenn, in the pilot episode, they pulled her Angora sweater really tight and clipped it in the back. And she looked down and she said, "Well, I guess we know what the Twin Peaks are."
That's funny.
And they also ruined her sweater.
They did. They stretched it out.
So he sends recordings to Cooper, and Cooper sends recordings to Diane.
I suppose, yeah. See, this is another one where the setting is important, because if this was in the modern day, there'd be something on the internet or, a text file or something like that.
There's something magical about pre-internet,
Yes, I agree.
I do miss those days.
Pre-cell phone, too.
Yep.
Okay, he told her to call Pete right away.
Uh-huh.
And to call the paper. She goes, "Okay, I'll do it alphabetically. Paper, then Pete." Okay, Pete was more important than the paper, Lucy.
Yeah, but Lucy got a Lucy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right?
Oh,
That's
and
funny.
Boobies.
No. I think it's supposed to be a smiley face. It's
Smiley
the
face.
The whole thing.
What's funny is how well they get along. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the egg yolks
Yeah, I know.
look like boobies.
I'm sure that that was also considered.
I always appreciate the fact that he and Pete got along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not like his sister. He
Yeah.
actually
No.
has genuine affection for Pete.
Oh, they find me sweet. Not in the
Yeah,
slightest.
nothing about them is sweet.
No.
The Hardy Boys.
No, that was Blue Velvet.
Right.
And she just had a heart attack.
Right? He finds that humorous.
Well, they're still married.
I'm dealing with him and
technically.
David. Him and David Warner, two actors known for playing villains in movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe just
Twice.
a little bit. I think the biggest crime is that you didn't succeed in killing Leo Johnson.
That'd be a neat trick.
That's an excellent point. Yeah. It's meaningless when it turns out he's alive.
Well, look, half of you have killed somebody at this point, so
Ooh, Hawk.
That was good.
yeah.
But it does hit a nerve, right? Because that does show that Truman is vulnerable because of that relationship. She ventilated you. He's got a
not
point.
wrong. You know, knowing Lynch, that would happen.
Yeah, I could kind of see it happening. That is true.
Bridget O'Shaughnessy. She killed
Have
Miles
you
Archer with a gun she
noticed
got from
that
Thursby.
almost every time Audrey comes into shot, they focus on her feet and then scroll up?
I'm not complaining.
No.
I'm not even a feet guy, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, with her it's less feet and more shoes.
Remember the old days when you used to have tight sweaters and perky attitudes?
Yeah, exactly.
One of these days, I'm going to go back and count how many concierges they went through.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's
Did he
always
just
somebody different every time.
Did he just quit?
I'm sorry, I was talking, so I don't know. I didn't catch the
No,
context.
no.
Oh, it's the Phantom.
Yes. See, I'm moving stuff around on the desk.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah, right? And she's remembering now.
No. You were not an unforgettable. It was Ray Liotta.
Right. Well, that kind of threw her equilibrium off a little bit.
It's in the envelope.
Yeah.
That's cryptic.
Yeah.
Well, cryptic in the straightforward kind of way. Cryptic because you don't know what it's about, but it's very clear what she's supposed to do.
Remember on Buffy when Xander said, I don't like cryptic. Cryptic usually means someone gets hurt. That someone is usually me.
In that show it was, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
She wants to break up with you.
It happens.
Here's the question. Is Mike in love? That
I don't know if he has a choice. Yeah.
And again, I'm on the fence over to what degree she really believes this delusion of hers and how much she's putting on an act. But either way, I really believe the underlying element is she wants to be able to free up Big Ed and release him from, you know, being tethered to her. We really do have to call a spade a shovel. A golden shovel, which we'll talk more about in season 3.
He's like, what the heck?
Okay.
Every time I make an illusion about season 3, you should write it down so that you can laugh later.
They need better security at this police station.
I know, right?
Like, seriously? What?
No, they're at the lodge. I mean, they're at the house, right?
Oh, that's right. They're at her place. Never mind.
Right.
Okay. I thought she went to the police station. Everything's wood in this place.
Yeah, wood is a theme tonight.
Every place they are, the Great Northern,
Well, true.
It's all wood.
Well, it's a logging town, so you would expect.
Right, exactly.
Where, strangely, not a whole lot of logging goes on.
Yeah, true.
Well, see, here's the thing. We've had the burning down of the sawmill, so that's a problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
But you also do see trucks all the time hauling logs when you see traffic scenes. Honestly, I believe that when they filmed this, it was probably the same truck driving around the block over and over again.
How do I get you alone? Well, yeah.
I mean, she's really tightening the screws here.
Yeah, I keep waiting for Josie to just haul off and deck her.
At this point, I'm expecting her head to explode.
No, I mean, one of those things where it's just like, you witch, bam. Then everything seems to be bathed in an orangish light because of the wood color.
Yeah.
At this point, why doesn't she work with the police? Seriously.
Because she is... Well, that's a great point. Now that she knows that
even if she's
whoever
facing
she
prison,
thinks she's
that's...
killed is not dead, they can't convict her on a crime. No one can hold a murderer over her head.
I mean, attempted with Cooper, maybe, right?
Maybe,
Well.
yes.
But I mean, that
And now that her fingerprints are on the gun.
Right.
I would just...
Well, her fingerprints were on
You have
the
to go to
gun
jail
already.
for a little while is better than death, right? I mean, it's...
Hmm.
Is that celery?
Yeah, if I can get some celery this week, I might have a Bloody Mary on Friday.
I got broccoli.
Not the same, sweetie.
It's green.
And yes, folks, he did have hair.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Who, Billy Zane?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
bald now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's pulling a Troy.
On purpose or?
Both.
Yeah.
Like me.
Okay.
I always felt like the celery was meant to be like a substitute for, and you notice he's wearing like a running tracksuit and whatnot, and maybe he's giving up cigars. An
Wait,
empty
what?
sack is worse about the empty sack.
$1 million.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the future. Sorry. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we get Jacoby back in here, please?
Right.
Nearly
No.
extinct.
But here's the thing. That's how they're all reacting. There's actually a stroke of brilliance going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Now here is, and I have to believe that there must have been an element of this in the storytelling. so much of these environmental impact things, wetlands, oh, we found this rare animal that'll be extinct if you develop this thing.
Yeah.
It is corporations waging war on each other to prevent this development or that development or whatever the case is.
But here's the thing. Is he genuine or not? That's what everybody's wondering, right?
Well, I think everyone in the room is probably, everyone who, besides Billy Zane. See, I told you, there goes the truck again. Is thinking maybe he's having some sort of relapse. Maybe this is like the Civil War thing or whatever. Oh, yeah, exactly.
He plays a good hillbilly, don't he? Or I should say trucker, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what is? He probably had one of those faces in the way you're just that you couldn't describe what he looked like to the police. Right.
Looking very average.
Yes.
Oh, next week. Okay. No, I'll calm down. Look what we made for you in shop.
Curtis Selby.
Yeah, I know. That is funny. That was from Titanic, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah. And now we have Caddyshack. This is just ridiculous.
Save the Pine Weasel. I love the fact that it's under the name Anonymous Hedgehog.
Does the Pine Weasel show up in one of the episodes, if I recall? If memory serves,
I think so.
Recall.
Yeah.
I think so. Is it like a groundhog? Is it like, does it attack somebody?
Gets bit on the nose or something.
Probably. What's his name? The posh guy. Uh-oh, here we go.
Well, you kind of got to get a divorce first, despite the fact that she thinks that they're not married. That's interesting. Can she even get a divorce? I mean, they're
going to be together whether they're divorced or not. Okay.
No. I understand, but he just said, would you marry me? Could Nadine even get a divorce under these circumstances? Or would she be considered non-compos mentis for the purpose of undergoing a dissolution of a contract?
Is Leo going to be wearing that bathrobe for the rest of his life? I'm just going to be...
I don't know why he let him have a knife.
Because he's wearing a shock collar.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, he would be kind of screwed though if the girls you send those letters to just don't show up.
Well, plan B. Hardison dies in plan B. Oh, wait, wrong show. Sorry.
He looks like one of the Harkonnens.
Yes.
The way he's smiling at him having gotten stuck.
He still has that Steven Seagal-esque look about him.
Kind of, yeah, it's the ponytail.
I guess was popular at the time. I think it's terrible.
True.
Uh-oh.
So I guess it's not just Sherilyn Fenn. Yep.
Everything's rehearsed.
Yep. Well, that would also solve her
No.
problem.
No downside.
Right.
It is lying.
Mhm.
Exactly. This is the consequences of your own actions.
I'm okay with that. Ooh.
Exactly. Great line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think that hurts me?
He's a psychotic. You do not remember. You remember reading about it, maybe.
Well, yes, that's what he means. He's recalling
Okay.
famous chess games. Curtis. Yeah, he's in an awkward
Yeah.
situation.
Dogs.
I mean, fair.
Mm-hmm.
That she's jumping to the excuse he just handed her, but she's overplaying it.
You were a kid. I was always 110.
Yeah, right.
Lady V, I think she's scared because she realized she might die tonight in some exchange. That's what it is.
Either
Right?
she's going to end up dead or she's going to go to jail, and she doesn't know which, and either way is effectively a death sentence.
Work with the police, throw yourself on the mercy of the court. That was your best option.
Yeah, but when you're in this deep with, stuff like that, it's like you don't really believe anyone can protect you. The fact
So even in
is,
prison, someone would get her? Is that what you're saying?
it's easier to get someone in prison.
Yikes. We won't speak
Case in
again.
point. Yeah.
I mean, I know this is a number of years before Epstein, but, it's that
I was just
idea.
about to say, yeah.
Welcome back,
Meanwhile-
James.
Oh, you got his mic back.
Yep.
India, Japan, Baltimore.
Philadelphia.
Oh, that.
You're also kind of a bitch. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm just saying she gets people killed. Okay. Is he going to join the Navy next?
Hello, ladies.
I was kind of thinking Naval Air Corps,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know. Run, James, run. I mean, what are you doing there, Donna? I mean, it might be worth getting out of town. Yeah, she hates you so much, that's why she brought a picnic basket with a baguette and fruit.
Oh, she's entitled.
He's in the middle of something. Lures are tricky to make.
Well,
I'm
and it's
painting
tricky
my
when you got a
Warhammer
witch
figure.
like
Come
that,
back
she
later.
won't answer the door.
Right.
He's not even sticking around. He's out the door.
Yep. I love that. I'm alive.
Well, think of it this way. That's 2 people who are on the Titanic.
Yeah.
In his case, twice.
Yep. I was going to say, she kind of betrayed you both.
You all betray me. I'm sick of this world.
See, here's the thing. I actually am inclined to give her the benefit of being very devious, but I don't feel she's clever enough to pull it off.
Well, there's a diary that never got finished.
Yeah, right. She said doo-doo. So he is back to cigars.
Well, it's after dinner.
Well, he
Which
also
is-
just put it out.
Yeah, to punctuate the air being cleaner. It's-
Tuesday.
It's things like that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's another Tuesday.
He was the Phantom. He couldn't tell you that.
Well,
it's a secret.
See, I always felt like he's got that, superhero Clark Kent-ish type of quality to him, right?
Yeah.
Which, of course, she's going to respond to the way she does to Cooper.
Do the math. Yeah, we have the whole walk into the trap thing to do.
Right.
So now it makes me wonder, how old is he?
Slightly older than she is.
Well, because she said, I'm only 18. And it's like, okay, and...
That's what he was asking. What does that have to do with anything?
It's actually kind of pretty.
Yeah.
Mm.
And cryptic and creepy.
And getting it all totally wrong.
Right.
But we'll get to that.
The heck?
He's practicing
fly
fly fishing.
fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
To answer the question, how does one do GIFs on here? I can't seem to get to work. I can't either. So I think you have to have them saved or something.
Looks like you found it. Yeah, I've never even tried.
Okay.
It's like, you're not going to shoot me again, damn it.
It sounds like a setup, like he's meant to shoot him.
He's not going anywhere.
Yep.
Kind of a waste of David Warner, I'll say.
Yeah.
we hardly knew him.
And where the hell did Jones go off to?
He's a little upset. What, she has forced herself to have a heart attack or something?
Yeah, I got a theory about this. We can talk about this in a bit.
Or she took something so that he couldn't take her back.
No.
He goes, Darn it! Is Johnny coming back again?
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Hey, keep your shoes off the bed.
You notice the different size heels on his
Yeah.
on his shoes. The left one has got a thick sole on it.
Well, either way, she was going to be going away from you because she's going to go to jail.
Okay, this is creepy.
So what? Bob took her over and killed her?
We're going to talk about that in a second. Like I said, got wood?
Yep.
Okay.
It should have had the little guy dancing again.
Yes.
In the credits.
So there was only one way that was going to go down, right? She was going to die. Either she was going to shoot herself, or Truman was going to have to shoot her, or Cooper was going to have to shoot her. That was the only way that was going to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's network television, and they don't want to show her, unaliving herself, right? So my theory is that's what the whole, in quotes, heart attack sort of thing was all about. Perceive it how you will, but she took herself out. But the nature of the way these things work in Twin Peaks, the soul was not exactly free to roam and go on to the afterlife or whatever. Became trapped. When you die in traumatic circumstances, in the presence of that influence that there is on Twin Peaks, this is where I would draw the parallel with Margaret's husband, right? Fireman who died in the fire and whatnot, and now she's carrying around a log and talking to it, right? A lot of people believe that there is this phenomenon in Twin Peaks where a restless spirit that dies traumatically under the right circumstances in Twin Peaks could end up encased in wood. So the theory is that Josie is now trapped within the furnishings of the Great Northern.
Well, she was never going to have a...
Huh?
Go ahead,
I
Boomer.
was just going to say she was never going to have a good end, I guess. Go ahead,
No.
lead the scenes.
Absolutely.
Well, to me, this is where Twin Peaks very much goes into the territory of The Shining. Because if you remember in the end of the film, where they show Torrance in the picture, that goes back to whatever, 1931 or whatever it was.
Right.
I always took that ending to mean he is part of the hotel now.
Yep.
And he's just going to be another ghost, another spook story. And in Doctor Sleep, that's pretty much what happens.
Yeah.
Now, I always took that's what happened here. It's the point that you basically just made. You know, she is going to be a ghost that's going to haunt that room.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's something that's going to come up again in season 3, or if this is the last we've seen of Josie Packard. But I've got a feeling that if anybody ever stays in that room again, there's going to be a bump in the night, so to speak.
So here's the thing. No spoilers, because honestly, this is one that I can't spoil for you. It doesn't... Even having seen all of season 3, I can say maybe. There is something that comes up in season 3 that I will rewatch with you.
Yeah.
You'll see it for the first time. I will see it for the umpteenth time. And we can kind of wrestle on it together.
I know what you're
talking about. Is this a
reference?
Yeah, I suspect you do. It's pretty overt when we get there. But it's like, is this a reference to Josie or not? I kind of want to say yes, if for no other reason. And I know this is being a little bit meta, which is kind of unfair. But I think a lot of my analysis of Twin Peaks and all the other Lynchian sort of elements is kind of meta. Because, I've said many times, it's worthwhile to watch other Lynch productions and actually even other Mark Frost productions to understand what elements they bring into it, what their mentality is, what their recurring tropes are, and how they are treated, so that you can kind of interpret them here too. By the same token, the meta image I'm referring to is that it's very clear that Lynch and Frost made a concerted effort to bring back everybody that they could. If they couldn't bring them back, make it very clear there was some sort of reference to them. So you know what happened to them, or where they are, why they're not there, whatever, right? And even in a couple of cases, even though the actors had moved on, I mean literally moved on from this world, right? They found ways to integrate them. But I don't think there's any overt reference to Josie in season 3, except this plausible one that, again, because of that, I have to assume that, yeah, it's a reference to Josie. But I can't be definitive about that. So it's impossible for me to answer that question with a spoiler, because the answer is I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Okay. And there's probably a lot of things I could actually talk about season 3 very similarly and say, I don't know. I saw it a couple times and I still don't know for sure. But that's, like I've always said, I feel like that's part of the fun of Twin Peaks. But yes, I am of the mind that we kind of look beyond what we actually saw in the TV episode because of the nature of it being a TV episode. And yeah, Josie pretty much unalived herself. You can say that she did it in a bloodless way. She willed her heart to stop beating if you choose to. But however you do, she was trying to check out early. And now she'll never leave.
Like Hotel California.
Exactly, except this one's just a little 2 states north.
No more Thomas Eckert, though I suspect we'll be feeling maybe he'll have a return of some sort. We'll get to that later. Memory serves.
And
yeah.
Another,
in a manner of speaking. Yeah.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Another element that I want to talk about was we're not done talking about the White Lodge and the Black Lodge and the
dancing,
the waiting room,
the dancing dwarf, and
the what's it called? The threshold, right? Where Hawk said to Cooper something about on the threshold you will meet your shadow self, and if you meet it with anything, any fear at all, anything but, a complete lack of fear, it will tear your soul apart. And I would argue that, and it's very important that that's what the element is. It's not if you're pure of heart. It's not, if you're, pure good and not evil. It has nothing to do with good and evil. It has to do with fear or lack of fear. And any fear, you're in trouble. Well, you better believe we talked about it throughout the episode. Every scene we saw Josie in, she was in fear, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have to wonder if, and then of course what happens, Bob shows up. What happened to Dead Josie, right? Mocking Cooper, but he is that element of the shadow, right, in Twin Peaks. He's not her doppelganger. He's not her shadow self, but he is a representation of an element of that shadow. I don't want to get too far into the mythology and the whatnot, because there are some things that we can't really explore too much until we revisit Fire Walk with Me, and then especially season 3, when some of the stuff that's given to us in Fire Walk with Me gets more fully developed. But there is no doubt, and sometimes it's easier to just chuck the literal or figurative symbolism of the mythology of Twin Peaks and substitute something that's a little bit more within your belief system. So, you could call, for example, Bob a demon, right? It's not 100% accurate, but it serves. So he is there in as a demon trying to goad Cooper. And what happened to Josie? Well, we've got her soul. Again, that's a little bit too fine a point, but kind of general.
He swallowed her soul.
Kind of, yeah. Well, what's he there for, right? What is Bob seeking? He's always seeking Garmin Boja, right? The pain and suffering in the world, right? That's the currency of the Black Lodge. So there you go.
This is a. So what is Twin Peaks? Is this a good place, a mysterious place, a bad place? How do you see it?
I see it as literally a place on the threshold, right?
Right.
It's not in and of itself neither good nor bad, but there is this nexus doorway, right? This spiritual weak spot, whatever you want to call it. It's a place where worlds touch, so to speak. And I don't want to go too much farther than that, because then again, that starts getting into season 3 related theorizing. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. They live at the end of a 5.5-minute hallway. And why does it always have to be a house of leaves? And I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Good night.
Exactly.
All right. So I threw a book reference in there. All right. That's a book I got to try and reread, House of Leaves.
Yeah.
I DNF'd it. I put it down because that book was starting to creep me out too much. But I gotta finish it one of these days. Because I know Blair Witch fans definitely like that book, and I think Twin Peaks fans will probably dig it too. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. That's me going off on a tangent.
It's all right.
Well, so yeah, folks, this is a show that's full of fan theories, and man, I can't wait to get to season 3 because I gotta wait. I think I know where they're going with this. I have a pretty good idea where they're going with this, but it's not going to be a straight line.
Oh. I don't know. It's some creepy stuff out there, and of course we have the lovely ladies over at the bar, and certain someone's watching them.
They are absolutely in jeopardy.
Yeah, and we're going to meet another.
Yep.
Next week.
Well, and it's no big surprise. Yeah. It shouldn't be a big surprise. We know because, you know, Norma brought up her sister. Was talking about her sister spending time in a convent. Like Annie is not of this world. That was not a throwaway line.
Okay. I did not have that issue on my NJ, but I don't know. Guys, has anybody seen this message before?
It would not let me leave a like. I get a message. Resources exhausted. Check quota. The only thing I can think is, did you try refreshing the screen? You know, refresh your YouTubery. And, you know, I mean, if nothing else, you can wait until after the stream and come back and then hit the thumbs up if that's what it takes.
So I don't want to hit the like on it. Huh. There's all sorts of weird problems going on tonight, I guess. It's been so far good on my end, so we'll see. Junior leads a great job. Thanks for the stream. A lot of excellent items talked about. A lot of points have been made. Well, we certainly try. Thank you. Thank you, Dee.
Just want to let you point out this is another week with no Andy.
Yeah.
And I have always been of the mind that, and you saw it in these kinds of episodic shows. You saw it in Twin Peaks. I also think of like Star Trek The Next Generation, you know, a lot of different shows back then. It's like, yeah, there were characters that the fans considered to be favorites and whatnot, but the fact is, you shouldn't always have every person in every episode.
No. Right? It's like the lone gunmen show up every so often on the X-Files.
Right, exactly.
Rodecker was a favorite of mine on Millennium on season 2. We never saw him after season 2, but he was the nerdy.
Yeah.
He was like I don't want to say like stereotypical man, like the stereotypical IT guy, nerdy, kind of a pimp, but so funny. It's just it's just from the 90s. It's like, you got to be kidding me.
going by the ending of season 2 without giving away season 2 of Millennium for anybody, I just figured there's a reason we didn't see him again.
Yikes, that's terrifying because, he probably helped Frank when he wasn't supposed to. But, it's too bad. I liked his character. I miss Millennium. I miss good network TV. And I know that Lynch hated the networks over this. I understand that. But I bet Fox might have left him alone. if he had been able to move this to Fox, he might have had some more leeway. Of course, even Fox ended up interfering with stuff later on, I think, because, well, maybe they did. I think they just forced the X-Files to be on too long. What is even on Fox now?
I don't know.
Ever since Disney bought them, I don't know.
The last show I remember watching, I'm trying to remember. Oh, the last show I watched on Fox was Prodigal Son.
Oh, okay. Last one I watched on... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And then they went like super woke at the beginning of season 2, and I said, to hell with it.
That happens a lot with shows. I watched the show about the vampires, which actually was only lasted one season, but was a good take on vampires. Basically, this guy gets bitten by a vampire that I think they're investigating some species in Brazil. I don't know if it's in Brazil or Venezuela or something, and like he gets bitten by this guy living in a cave, and then he gets this vampire disease. And then I think the WHO figures, hey, we can use this to cure all sorts of diseases, so we'll keep this guy alive and see if we use his vampirism. And they start creating more vampires off of this guy. I don't know if it's the World Health Organization or the CDC. It was one of those groups on the show. You couldn't have made that now.
Was it the Strain?
I don't think it was the Strain. That was a different series. That Guillermo del Toro was in charge. This was a different vampire series. But I liked it because the vampires on it were basically monsters. They weren't trying to sugarcoat it, but like, I think some weren't as bad as other. I like that show, but it only lasted one season.
Who was in it? I'm trying to remember this.
I think Mark Paul Gosselaar, the guy from Saved by the Bell. I want to say he was.
Oh!
Yes.
The Passage.
That might have been what it was. Yeah, it only lasted one season.
Yeah.
Unless they made a season 2, I don't know. I think I got out of. Yeah, I've not. Fox is gone for me. I think after Disney bought it, I don't know what they even did with the network after that. And I know I watched The Gifted on Fox. Don't judge me.
I watched it too.
Okay, because it was X-Men.
Yeah,
it got worse in season 2.
It did.
I joke when I was watching this. It takes them 10 episodes on this show to get to a plot point that would have been a 2-parter at best if it was an animated series, okay? It's like, no, seriously, like, what's the big plan? Oh, they're going to rob a bank. Okay, I know it's a big deal, but it's like the bad guys were basically the Hellfire Club. I don't even know if they called them the Hellfire Club in the show. I think they did.
No.
In season 2, it was that. You could tell it was supposed to be the Hellfire Club. Instead of the White Queen, you had the Black Queen. I made the inference there. They could always joke, well, this is after all that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like, I basically just called it X-Men the series. I don't care if Professor X wasn't on it or Cyclops. These are the new X-Men. This is like X-Men The Next Generation. That's how I saw it. But yeah, it had its issues.
But
which was too bad because it had a decent cast.
Speaking of pacing, though, I did want to say one more thing about Twin Peaks. We do have, like I said, I think about 5 episodes left. And I think all of us have been kind of saying at the end of each episode, man, I can't wait for the next episode. And I feel like each episode kind of engages you. I feel like the pacing on Twin Peaks was kind of spot on.
Yeah.
Although, if you really get granular with it and you start, and I know you and I have both done this, how many days have passed between this event and so on and so forth, it starts getting a little... And honestly, it's worth doing that, because on the one hand, you'll see things that look like continuity errors, and you just go, well, it's hard to keep that kind of stuff straight. And then you start thinking a little more, and you go, wait a minute, maybe that was intentional.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is, if I remember correctly, a time jump.
There is a what?
A time jump.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that might be the next episode or the one after it. Because I remember I remember there being a time jump.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a time jump between season 2 and season 3.
Oh, well,
Yes.
yeah.
Time jumps can be tricky
Mm-hmm.
on shows,
No,
especially when
it's
it's
not.
unnecessary. It can be.
It's just a jump to the left, and then a step to the right.
Of
Right.
course. All right, what else did we miss this episode? Leo seems to still be wearing the bathrobe. That's about it.
I kind of feel like, well, on the one hand, that's Wyndham Earle kind of, hey, you're going to wear what I say, you're going to do what I say, all that kind of stuff. I think the other element of it, just for narrative purposes, is just to remind you he's still a little, not himself yet. He's still got some infirmity going,
Yeah.
Evelyn says the only Fox programs I watched were 911, 911 Lone Star, and now they've moved to the networks.
See,
yeah.
See, kids. In the old days, they used to rely on these things called ratings when they would make a new show. But with streaming, they just kept throwing junk on there, and they didn't care if it was quality or if it was going to reach an audience. I still don't know how well these shows have done on some of these streaming channels, and I'm thinking, well, what's supposed to drag me on to some... I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what shows are still on, and somebody comes on here and reviews it.
Well, another problem we have is that we have TV shows that take forever to get from season to season now.
Yes.
It used to be like a yearly thing. Even Game of Thrones, when in its heyday, was a year-to-year show. That was why it was a big deal between the first and final, or when they split the last season in half. They took a whole nother year off, and fans were mad about that. But then we finally got the final 8 episodes or whatever. But no, that was a yearly thing. And now it's like, it's great they're shooting Tulsa King, but we're well over a year after the last season ended. And I don't get this. I know it's strikes and everything else. Maybe that's the reasoning. But you want me subscribing to your services, everything loses momentum if you wait too long.
One could argue that they're this is not terribly dissimilar from the way BBC and other British shows have been and whatnot.
Well, maybe with Doctor Who, you're right, but like I know other BBC British shows, like every year I get a new season of All Creatures Great and Small. So they're around like 6 episode seasons. Yeah,
they have in recent years gotten better about that. But it used to be with a lot of British programs, they would do a season, and there was no guarantee they even had a plan to do another season.
Right.
So they could go 2-3 years and go, okay, let's do another short season. Give you a few more episodes. We got a story to tell.
And hello, Maria.
Oh, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Good to see you. But that was all. I think that's all I wanted to say about tonight's episode. It was. Did I cover everything? We'll talk more about Billy Zane.
I think so.
As we get more into his character.
I do want to see more of this Pine Weasel. In another episode there are going to be protesters. Save the Pine Weasel.
Yes.
Actually, I'll enjoy Catherine getting annoyed at this. Actually, right?
Yes.
You get some angry hippies out there yelling at her about the Pine Weasel. Cute little Pine Weasel. Don't we all love the Pine Weasel?
Yeah, the whole Stop Ghostwood thing. Yeah,
Estates,
absolutely.
yes. Ghostwood Estates, they want to make the Pine Weasel a ghost. Remember the dodo.
And as you might guess, look it up on Etsy. There's people selling buttons. Save the ghost. Stop the Ghostwood project. Save the Pine Weasel.
That was
a
actually
meme that I saw going around. It's a still from that scene where he does the unveiling with the sketch of the Pine Weasel, and the top caption says, "Me, I promise I won't get all political. 3 drinks later, save the Pine Weasel."
I know they're gonna have one in an episode, aren't they? It's gonna attack somebody. I just know it's gonna happen. Oh, isn't it cute? I'm just expecting that to I probably remember that. That's probably what I'm thinking of.
It is the most cruel and vile creature. I can't see it. Is it behind the rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
It is the rabbit.
It is the rabbit. I miss Monty Python. You couldn't. I miss a lot of things. Like I said, we'll be talking about the future, though, on Friday's stream, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
What we have to look forward to.
In the year 3000. Okay.
I will tell you this though, the fate of the Ghostwood is not, left untouched. It is resolved by season 3. We know what happens to Ghostwood. Just thought I'd throw that out for you. There's another thing.
Okay.
See, I get kind of annoyed with a lot of the fans that are like, well, they didn't tell us anything. We didn't get any answers. There are a lot of answers we get from season 3. Sure, there's a lot of lore that represents a lot more questions, but you also get a lot of answers if you're paying attention. So, suck it up, Buttercup. Personally, I think all of this effort is worth it. It's part of the fun for me.
Indeed. Yeah. The whole fun of this show is coming up with theories and what does this mean? What does that mean? And that's part of it. It's absolutely part of it. That might not have been the original intention, but
yeah, this whole idea. I mean, there's so many shows now where you have viral marketing. You have the augmented reality games. You have analog horror. You've got all kinds of multimedia. Easter eggs and secrets and whatnot. All of that I feel like was inspired by something like this, like Twin Peaks. Because Twin Peaks did a great job of, and you especially see this when we start getting into season 3 and the final dossier and the secret history of Twin Peaks, working in a lot of elements of real world current events and history and stuff like that. And it's like, if you're paying attention to those connections, there's some clues to what's probably going on in the story. And, and then, like I said, the whole idea of there being a multi-platform multimedia, so the diary and the tapes and the books and, all of that kind of stuff is essentially part of it,
and there's a fish in the percolator.
And there's a fish in the percolator, right. And then when you actually go to Snoqualmie and you walk across Ronette's Bridge and you see that somebody has, in graffiti put, rest in peace T. Banks, it's like, what is going on here?
yeah.
It's kind of cool, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
I think that's all I got for for episode 23.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here then. I want to say hello to everyone who joined us on Twitter and Rumble. Everyone who joined us here in the chat, not only on my channel, but on Troy's, Netters, and Al's as well. And we're doing this because we want as many eyes on this show as possible. And And one of those reasons, like we brought up, is the fact that we are so starved for decent entertainment right now. And maybe some of these older shows that I always catch myself watching around this time of night, very well be a way to go. You can't, like Cecil Trachtenberg, Good Bad Flitz, said earlier in his new video. Why are we seeing all of these remakes? If a movie was a classic movie, why do you now feel the need to quote unquote fix it?
Yeah.
Twin Peaks is something that doesn't need to be fixed. Hill Street Blues does not need to be fixed. Dragnet does not need to be fixed. Barney Miller doesn't need to be fucking fixed.
Apparently, didn't St. Elsewhere fix Hill Street Blues? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not go there.
That's a rabbit hole. Only the last 10 minutes of St. Elsewhere is real. Everything else is just in a snow globe. And I'm like, no, you're ruining it for me. Now, Twin Peaks is the show I would expect to end in a snow globe, but I don't think it's going to. Don't worry. Like I said, I think I have a pretty good idea of what the final scene is going to be, or very close to it.
You may think you know. We'll get there.
I may think I know. We'll get there, but yeah. One of the things about my channel is, and I'm sure everybody here will agree with me on the panel, we want to bring everybody good entertainment. And if that means we have to go back 30 years in order to do it, then that's what we're going to do. And I always joke that Troy kind of shanghaied me into this. But he really didn't have to do a whole lot. Because it has been about that long since I've had anybody to talk to about this show.
I knew which buttons to press and what strings to pull.
And I'm really glad I'm having the chance to talk. And that every once in a while we can kind of pull a guest through the fourth wall who might not be as interested in the show.
Right.
But, and Al, you know who you are.
Yeah.
I tried to get him to stay for the whole episode that night, but I know I couldn't. But still,
right.
I'm just glad that everybody is here and everybody's watching. And I know there are a lot of people who watch the show who don't watch it live. And to you fine folks who watch the replay, I'm glad that you enjoy the show. And I'm hoping that we brought some new fans to Twin Peaks itself. And we are not the only people on YouTube who cover Twin Peaks.
Yep.
There are quite a number, actually, that I've come to find out over the last few weeks. A couple of whom I hope we get on the show here eventually.
I've got one lined up, but
yeah,
we gotta time it right because we still gotta wait season 3 first. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, as Nate says in chat, it's a good show, and I like watching it with friends. And that's ultimately what this is all about. Because I realized I kind of had to put my money where my mouth is, so to speak. And
keep it out of your mouth. You don't know where that's been.
I don't know where it's been. I don't know where I've been. Where have you been?
Good point.
Where am I? Who knows? I might be in the Black Lodge. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a town that seems like it sometimes, but you know, I'll go into that off screen. But I'm just glad everybody is here and the same group of people are in the chat week to week and joining us on Cosme, and there's more people watching us live week to week as well.
Yep.
So I'm really happy about that, and stay tuned because it's you ain't seen nothing yet. And I got a feeling I ain't seen nothing yet too when we get to season 3. So all right, enough of my yakking. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'd like to once again thank everybody who watched, and of course once again Troy, Netter, and Boomer for taking the time out to join me, and we're go around the horn one more time. Troy, what do you have coming up?
Well, first I just want to, piggyback on what you were saying and thank everybody who was here supporting us. I know that some of you guys were multi-platforming it just because you want to support each one of us. And guys, that is just above and beyond. Super appreciate that. So all of you that were not just here with deleted scenes, but on my stream, on Netters and Age of Boomers, thank you so much. It really means the world. As far as my streams go, the only regular one I've got coming up obviously would be Friday. Friday with Age of Boomer. His suggestion, and I think it was a brilliant one. We've been looking back at. We looked back at Canon Studios. We looked back at cable TV. Both of those inspired me to do the Bo Derek watch party last night. And now we want to look forward to, the movies that are going to be coming out in the next year or two. Some of which, were meant to come out in a year and are being pushed out and whatnot. Is there anything we're excited about? Or are we reticent about some of what's coming out? Are there titles that we think will never actually happen despite what they've said many, many, many times about these movies coming?
I'm keeping the faith. I know what you're talking about, too.
Yeah. It's not the only one, though.
I see. There are more. Yeah, okay.
There might even be more. We may actually even get into... not in any depth. We'll get more into it on Sunday, but we'll talk a little bit about some short-term predictions for Hollywood in general. I think it'll be an interesting talk. There will definitely be booze, and if I can get out and get to the store and get some celery, I will probably be having a Bloody Mary on Friday. So that's Last Call with Troy Pacelli. 9 Central, 10 Eastern on my channel.
All right. Boomer.
Nothing. Like I said, I'll be on with Troy on Friday, and you can join us for Geeky Geezers on Sunday after the official pre-show of Geeky Geezers, which is unscripted with you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be talking about I want to say more BS, but because I don't think we got some good. So Hasbro.
Yeah, well, that's not good news either. Just talking to Hasbro,
they're doing fine.
I think he picks articles sometimes just because he's like, "Oh, this will get Troy ranting. That everybody gets a kick out of that. Let's do that."
It just sounds like the head of Hasbro is like the weird Picard in that episode of TNG where he's like, "Fly the Enterprise closer to the sun. Keep going closer." Remember?
Yeah, right. Just to see how how far he could push it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Netter.
Well, let's see. On Thursday things, my special guest would be Dad Man Walking 55. Looking forward to having him on. And at some point in the future, I hope to get on Mrs. Dead Man Walking 55.
Yep.
Because they're a power couple. And then on Saturday, we'll be over on Big Al's channel, but I don't remember what movie it is.
That will be
It's going to be that movie.
Snowpiercer. It's Snowpiercer. I remember because I joked about the Willy Wonka theory about that one, which I don't think anyone takes too seriously. I think that's a little tongue in cheek, but it's a film that's been on my watch list that I've been wanting to see, and now we're definitely going to be seeing it on Saturday.
Okay. I think that's it for me, aside from, of course, my usual co-hosting duties on Last Call with Troy Pacelli, this show, Sparkwood 21. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for right now.
All right. That brings us on over to myself. Tomorrow night at, if I remember correctly, 9 o'clock, I'll be joining Jedi Bill for a watch party and discussion of Episode 2 of Fallout. I will be joining Bill once again Thursday at 4:30 for Action Theater, and we will be watching The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. And of course, right after Thursday things will be the weekend update. And of course, gets on over to Sunday, which is my busy day because I will have
yeah.
Western Cinema Presents, where Bill and I will be watching Rio Lobo with John Wayne. And of course, Unscripted and The Other Side of Midnight. So stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up. Of course, join us right back here. Same bat time, same bat channel, as we continue live from Sparkwood and 21.
Yep.
All right. Netter, would you like to take us out with your outro?
Absolutely. Of course, I want to remind everyone to make sure that you are a sub to every member of the panel as well as every member of the chat. And if you think you're sub, please go back and double check that you're still sub, because YouTube likes to take those away. I've lost 6 subs in the last 2 weeks, so I'd appreciate getting those back. So if you wouldn't mind double checking, I'd appreciate that. And with that said, we can talk amongst ourselves, and it's all well good and fun, but it is so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys and we appreciate you so very much. You can be anywhere right now, and you're here. And that means so much to us. It's so encouraging. Not just to us on the panel, but to everyone in the chat. Seeing the same people all the time is just so encouraging. Having you come back because you want to be here with us. I just love saying that, so thank you very much for that. I hope to see you Thursday on Thursday Things. Come back for another visit over on my channel. But until then, good night and God bless.
All right. I would like to remind everyone who in the chat who maybe is not aware of this, our friend Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank, had a medical situation this week.
Oh.
And I know that he was feeling ill while he was doing my member stream last weekend, and unfortunately, he had to go to the hospital, and so keep a good thought for him. He has a video up right now where he explains everything. So please check that out and keep a good thought for him. All right, I would also like to remind everyone to check out Good Bad Flicks. Cecil Trachtenberg. He's got a great video up right now on Hollywood remakes and why they're bad. They're so bad. And of course, if you are not yet subscribed to his channel, please do so. And I understand from Alien Theory that Alien will be re-released on 4/26, Alien Day, into theaters. So, right, hopefully that will be in. Hopefully that will be in my area. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Alien 1?
Alien 1. Yep.
Which cut?
Don't. Well,
Good question.
good question. I wouldn't mind the original theatrical, to be honest.
Right. Agreed.
But that's a case of a director's cut that actually added footage that enhanced certain things that I thought. But that's me. That's a case where Ridley Scott got a director's cut right, I think. All right. All right.
Yep.
So, of course, let's see who's live. Nick Weiser's live. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. He's in the middle of Toxic Tuesday right now. Burt Reynolds' month continues with Deliverance. All right. Once again, thank everybody for being here. Thank Troy, Netter, and Boomer for joining me.
Yep.
Absolutely.
From HQ. And all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong, because this is how we win.
Was it seduction or illusion? Deception or murder? Nothing is what it seems in a town like Twin Peaks. Starring Kyle MacLachlan, Michael Onke, Lara Flynn Boyle, Sherilyn Fenn, and Joan Chen. And now you can fall back into the mystery, or begin your search for the first time every Tuesday night with a new episode hosted by a panel of superfans. Watch live for the audio commentary. No one is innocent